You got a wife? Anything? Maybe? Okay. Well, watch this. Jeremiah 10. Did you show me that already, Jeremiah 10? Alright, Jeremiah 10. You believe in the Bible, bro? Alright, watch this. Because what they tell you, right? Christmas is the birth of Jesus, is the reason for the season. The birth of Christ, he was born in the manger and all of that. That's what they tell you Christmas about, right? Watch this, read.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 1. Heed the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
Right, so we the children of Israel. We the real Jews. I don't know if you've been seeing what's going on in the media with Kanye West, Kyrie Irving, and all of that. They getting a lot of they was getting a lot of backlash for telling they followers, they millions of followers, that we the real Jews. You know what I'm saying? We the Israelites, we God's chosen people. Watch this, read.
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
So God told us we're not supposed to be, he called all the other nations heathen. Outside of the children of Israel, he called them heathen. And he tell us not to learn the ways of the heathen. Right, read.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Right.
For the heathen are dismayed at them.
Because that's what Christmas is rooted back to, sun worship. You understand? What's it called? The Saturnalia and stuff like that. If you go back into most of these pagan holidays, they root back to that Saturnalia, and worshiping the sun. Right? Look into it. You can Google this. You know what I'm saying? Watch this. Read.
For the customs of the people are vain.
Right? It's vain. It's unprofitable to our people. How is Christmas? How is celebrating Christmas profitable to the black man in America? How is it? You know what I'm saying? We giving all our money to. You know what I'm saying? You know how much money we spend on Christmas? You know what we could do with that money if we really came together as a community? What we could do for ourselves? You know what I'm saying? But we go and we spend all our money on these things that the white man taught us to do. You understand? So we don't really do what we're supposed to do with our money. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's unprofitable for our people to do these things. You know what I'm saying? And there's so much evil that come behind it. There's so much vanity and all of these things. It's about, I want this, I want that. This, you know what I'm saying? You breaking your neck trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, it ain't, it's unprofitable. You see what I'm saying? Watch this, read.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
How many people you know that go broke over Christmas? They just go broke. They probably they sacrifice or they substitute paying a light bill or something to get some Christmas gifts. So they substitute paying rent this month. You know what I'm saying? To get some Christmas gifts and things like that. You see what I'm saying? It's unprofitable. If God wanted us celebrating these things, we wouldn't have to go through all that. You see what I'm saying? But watch this, read.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
So one of these vain customs the Bible finna describe. So this custom involves a tree, right? Read.
The work of the hands of the workman with the axe.
Because now you can go to Walmart or where they got Lowe's, Home Depot and stuff like that. You can go buy a Christmas tree, right? But before you could go in the store and buy a Christmas tree, where you had to get your Christmas tree from? You had to go cut it down, right? You had to go cut it down. It was a time people had real trees in their house, right? That tree had to be cut down, right?
They deck it with silver and with gold.
And to this day, we decorating the tree with silver and gold. You know what I'm saying? That's what deck is short for decorate. You decorate it with silver and gold, right?
They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not.
So back then we had to fasten it with nails and hammers. We had to fasten, we had to nail like some wood blocks to the bottom of the tree stump and then nail that to the floor. So, you know what I'm saying? So the tree wouldn't move. Now they just got the little thing that you put it in, the little post or whatever you put it in. But it's describing Christmas. You see what I'm saying? And they tell us it's the birth of Christ. This was way before the birth of Christ. We reading about Christmas. This is Jeremiah. You know what I'm saying? We don't learn about Christ until the New Testament, hundreds of years later. You know what I'm saying? So Christmas never had anything to do with Christ. Excuse me. And of course it wasn't called Christmas back then, but it's the same custom. They just put a different name on it. You see what I'm saying? But we are trying to justify, because we know a lot of these holidays that was given to us, and I heard this a lot at the Christian church. You know what I'm saying? It's about the birth of Jesus and this, that, and the third. But ain't nobody talking about Jesus on Christmas. Ain't nobody sitting at the dinner table, you know what I'm what I'm saying, talking about the birth of Christ. You know what I'm saying? The opening their presence, talking about the birth of Christ. Ain't nobody talking about that. You know what I'm saying? So even if it was about that, that's not why we doing it. You see what I'm saying? But we ain't supposed to be doing it in the first place. As the Bible says, Colossians 2, right there. And Christ told us not to, because who implemented Christmas was a man of God. It was man, right? The same with Thanksgiving. Man implemented that. God didn't. You don't read that in the Bible. The same with Easter. You understand? That was man-made. Valentine's Day, Independence Day, or 4th of July, New Year's. That was these man-made customs. They don't come from God. Watch this, read. And you know it's crazy. We wonder why we catch so much hell. You know what I'm saying? We wonder why God is still allowing us to go through all the stuff we're going through as people. You understand what I'm saying? But we steady follow man in everything. And when we heard that God don't want us doing this, we still try to justify following man. You know what I'm saying? And we wonder why we keep going through this hell. God ain't finna come do nothing for us while we following man, as long as we following man and not him. We know what the Bible says, but we're gonna try to justify it and say, oh, it's for the kids, or it's the only time the family can get together. No, it's not. You got PTO. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that got a job got PTO. So you can make time for your family. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to do it when they give you the time. And you can still gather with the family around that time. We gather together around this time, but it's not for Christmas. It's to stay away from that. So we ain't got to be around that. We gather together and do what we supposed to be doing in the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Watch this, read it.
Colossians chapter 2 and verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
Because our people have been spoiled through philosophy and vain deceit. You know what I'm saying? We've been robbed. We've been robbed of everything. Our heritage, our history, our language, our name. You understand? We've been robbed of all of that. You understand? And we continue to allow it to happen through philosophy and vain deceit, because we can get all of that back now. But we choose to follow philosophy in vain deceit. You understand? These unprofitable things that they steady put in our face. You understand? Watch this, read.
After the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ.
You see that? Read on.
For in him dwelleth all the fullness of the Godhead bodily.
Right. So all of the things that we need is in Christ. It's in these scriptures. You know how many high holy days it is in the Bible? How many times that he command his people to come together? You understand? So if we do the things that's in the scriptures, we're gonna be around each other way more than one time a year or 2 times a year. You understand what I'm saying? Like the Feast of Dedication, for instance, which people call today Hanukkah. You know what I'm saying? That's a 7-day, 8-day. That's an 8-day feast day. You know what I'm saying? Now, we might not be able to get off work for those 8 days, but we still gonna, when we get off work, we gonna get together, you know what I'm saying, and do what we do. You see what I'm saying? And then the first and the last day is a feast day, so we're gonna get together on those 2 days. We're gonna come together, we're gonna eat, music, you know what I'm saying, all of that stuff. You see what I'm saying? And this is what we do. This ain't just here in St. Louis, you know what I'm saying? But we do have a school congregation, our wives, kids, all of them.
Back of there at the bottom.
So on the back of there at the bottom. Our address, we right up the street. And we congregate every Sabbath day. We congregate for all the feast days, all the high holy days that God gave us, and we have a good time. You know what I'm saying? And we have in righteousness. Ain't nobody fighting, ain't nobody arguing, ain't nobody drunk. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no weed smoking, none of that. You know what I'm saying? We just having a good time. You know what I'm saying? Enjoying each other's company in the world. You know what I'm saying? So let me ask you a question real quick. What that sign there?
12 Charles or Christ? Right here.
Right here. So where you see yourself on the sign? You got got Judah, Benjamin, Levi, all of these names is the names that God gave his people. And all of these names is the white man names. All these names that the white man gave God's people. So where you see yourself in this?
You'll take the passage.
Black America.
Right? So this is what they call us. This is what God called us, Judah. You understand? You ever heard of the tribe of Judah or the Lion of Judah? That's what they call Christ, the Lion of Judah, right? Why? Because that's the same tribe he came from. This is what they don't want us to know. We come from the same lineage that Christ came from. That's why we so special. You know what I'm saying? That's why we the best at everything. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no coincidence. It ain't no coincidence that they try to commit genocide on us and we still here. You know what I'm saying? Like, if what they did to us happened to any other race on the face of this earth, they wouldn't even be here. You know what I'm saying? Bro, we strong, we the strongest people on the planet. That's not a coincidence. Give me that Deuteronomy 7:6. That ain't no coincidence, man. God did that purposely. Why? Because we his chosen people. He gonna make his chosen people stronger than everybody. You know what I'm saying? But watch this. Let me show you something. This is what they not finna show you in church. You go to church sometimes, every now and then, but they ain't reading these scriptures in church. You know what I'm saying? Watch this, read. They gonna tell you Jesus is the reason for the season. They ain't finna give you no scripture on Christmas. You know what I'm saying? They ain't finna give you no scripture telling you to celebrate Christmas. You know what I'm saying? They might read the birth of Christ. That's it. They ain't got nothing to do with Christmas. You see what I'm saying? Watch this, read.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6.
Read.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Read.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So the stuff that we do, the things that we overcame, well, it takes a special people to do that. You know what I'm saying? God said he chose us to be a special people above all people on the face of the earth. Anything we do or get into, we do it better than everybody. Any sport, any college, whatever we do, all the best scientists, black people. It was a black woman that found out how to get back from the moon. When they found out how to go to the moon, they didn't know how to get back. A black woman came up with the formula. You understand? With ease. It was simple for her. They couldn't figure it out. You see what I'm saying? We the best at everything, right? Because we the special people to the Lord. He said we gonna be above all nations. And we are above all nations in everything except in society. You see what I'm saying? How we the best at everything, but we at the bottom of society. That don't even make no sense. How we stronger than everybody, but we at the bottom of society. You don't think God has anything to do with that? You don't think there's anything spiritual going on there? That's spiritual. You know what I'm saying? It has to be some type of spiritual force behind that got us at the bottom of society. If we stronger than everybody, if we physically stronger, smarter, you know what I'm saying? More resilient. We more resilient than anybody. You ain't stopping us from doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? But we still at the bottom of society. Why? Deuteronomy 20:15. And I'm showing you why, because these questions that a lot of people have or should have, but we should be asking why we at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Why? We gotta start asking why. You see what I'm saying? And we showing our people in the Bible. This is a spiritual thing going on, bro. This ain't nothing, no coincidence. Ain't no white man just get up and say, man, I'm finna go enslave a whole bunch of black people from the west coast of Africa. That wasn't no coincidence.